What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to TacticalBassin. Today we are doing some springtime dock fishing, and I want to show you guys my 4 must-have rod combos for dock fishing. Springtime, fish are moving up, they're moving into bays, they're moving up into these docks, right? They're coming up to spawn. So they're going to be moving in to the backs of these cuts, getting in under the shade of the docks. And with these 4 baits right here I'm going to talk about, or 4 styles of baits I'm going to talk about, you could put a fish of a lifetime in the boat. Simplicity. Matt and I, we always talk about it, right? Simplify. So I have 2 spinning rods and 2 bait casting rods. My thought process. Fish are moving up. They're going to be suspending under these docks, right? You could drop the trolling motor and cruise and you'll see some docks have 10 fish, some docks have no fish, some docks have 40 pounds sitting underneath it. And every fish is different. Some are going to want a swim bait, some are going to want a glide bait, some are going to want a drop shot, some are going to want a weightless worm, that sort of thing. So here is my setup to simplify dock fishing in the springtime. Right off the bat, I am going to go weightless. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter what type of worm you use. If I'm fun fishing, I'll fish the Strike King, the shimmy stick. If there's money on the line, or I really want to, I don't know, I have a lot of confidence in the Gary Yamamoto Senko. But a weightless worm, these fish aren't necessarily looking to eat. You know, they're in their head, they're wanting to reproduce, they're wanting to come up, find a mate, find a bed, and they're not really thinking about eating. So a weightless worm is something that you can skip up under these docks and just let it taunt them, right? Tease them, let it fall subtle right in their face. And a lot of times, if you get a good cast, you could see them just swim over a little bit and just suck it in. So a weightless worm, it's not very intrusive, it's quiet, it skips really easily. You can stay back off of the dock, skip back underneath there, and just wait and wait and wait as it's falling. You're waiting for that line to jump or that little tick, set the hook. So, weightless worm. My next finesse rod is going to be something with a little bit of weight on it. Right here, I have that little owner. This is a 32nd ounce head. Actually, this might be the 16th ounce head, and a 6-inch robo worm. Just a little bit of weight. These docks are only 4 to 6 feet deep, so I don't want something to come crashing down on them, but I have the weightless worm covered, right? I have the real subtle fall covered. Now I want something that I can bottom fish. With this little head, it doesn't fall very quickly. It's a 6-inch worm, got a good presentation, good profile, and I can skip it. I can target each individual piling and work that bait. Now, any of these baits can be substituted to your favorite bait, your favorite style of fishing. You know, I'm going with a weightless setup and then a heavier setup. So a heavier setup could be a finesse jig. It could be a light drop shot. Drop shot is phenomenal in this situation because you can pick apart each piling, flip to them. You sit there and shake the worm and not have the bait coming to you. You don't have the bait closing distance, so you can sit there and just really soak it. You can shake it and not move at all, not move your bait at all. So, drop shot, a Nico rig. I just really like this really light setup, something that I can throw on 6-pound tests and really finesse the fish out of these docks. So, weightless worm, super finessey. Heavier bait, either a drop shot, a finesse jig, a Nico rig, a Carolina rig, something with a little bit of weight. So there's 2 down. My third one is going to be some type of glide bait. Now, depending on your fishery, it could be a small bait, it could be a 10, 12, 14-inch bait. That all depends on you guys. But a glide bait, I can pick these corners of these docks, I could fire back and just wind this thing. It's just so subtle. You know, you can throw twitches and stuff in there if you want, but it's just a dumb fish that's just kind of cruising by. And these fish are suspended up under the docks in the shade, like I said. And a glide bait is a great way to trick one of those big ones into eating. You'll kind of see the thought process here, kind of a weightless worm, a heavier worm, almost a floating, you know, these are they sink very slow. So a real subtle, a real slow falling swim bait. And now a heavier swim bait. This is the 6-inch Osprey. This is a phenomenal dock fishing bait. I'll make a few casts with this thing. I can skip this thing 30 yards under a dock, and they flat out get eaten. Hopefully you guys can see that. Again, this is the Osprey, the tournament talon. This is the 6-inch. This is a money bait. It's got a boot tail on it. You've heard Matt and I do videos in the past about different swim bait tails, when you want a wedge style or when you want a boot tail. The water's warming up, fish are more aggressive, go with a boot tail. It's got a bigger kick and displaces more water. So now I have a swim bait that I can skip all the way back underneath there, all the way to the far corner, the darkest part of that dock, and let this bait fall to the bottom and just creep it out. Again, these fish aren't going to be super active. You know, you may get lucky. You might get one flip in there or skip under there, and she swims over and eats it right off the bat. But most of the time, you got to kind of coerce these things into eating. But with these 4 setups, you can go and you can fish any dock in the country and have success. You don't have to have 10 rods. You don't have to have 6 rods. You don't have to have 50 rods. 4 rods, 2 spinning, 2 casting, and you're set up, guys. Again, all this stuff is universal. If you don't want to throw a glide bait, you could throw a little 4-inch, 4.3 Kitech, or any of your favorite 4 to 6-inch swim baits that are lighter. Again, you want to cover the depths, right? The different depths in the water column. So again, I like the glide bait, but it's all universal. You guys can change this stuff out as you wish. Confidence, fish your confidence baits. I have a lot of confidence in those 4 baits. As far as rod and reel setups, you guys can see this is a GLX, this is a G Loomis NRX. This is, in my opinion, one of the baddest rods on the market. Definitely a high price point, but you guys know for finesse fishing, I want the lightest rod and the most sensitive rod I can get. This is the 852. I have had this rod for only a couple of months, but the 852 GLX I have had since I was a teenager, and that is my hands down favorite weightless Senko rod. Little trick on here, I went ahead and put a little saddle keeper on this bait. How this works, skipping baits kind of tears up your baits if you're doing it all day. What it is, it's a little saddle. You put one end through and then the other end through. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to hook through your bait, but through the little saddle, the little bottom of the U, if you will, with what this makes. Let me slide this down. So you can see how that sits on there. Hopefully you guys can see that. Again, with weightless worms, with Senkos, look at them. They all have a natural bend to them. That is the side that you want facing down. It cups more water, gives it more action, and it falls slower. So now all I need to do, take that little mosquito hook, and I'm kind of flying through some of this stuff, guys. Down below in the video description, we will link to everything I'm talking about, some of our favorite baits, colors, and gear, and all that stuff. But mosquito hook, I'm going to actually skin hook the bait too. I'm going to go right through that saddle. So that leaves you an awesome skipping setup. Paired that up with this, actually an older Daiwa Steez, 10-pound braid to 6-pound fluoro. It's a little light here for Clear Lake, but you guys can adjust your leader size. This guy, this is on a little 610 X Pride. I really like the shorter rods for dock fishing. If you do get in close, you can still get that low angle and get that good skipping trajectory and get those baits back up underneath there. 610 Zodius, or 610 X-Bride paired up with the new Daiwa Tatula LT. Glide bait. This is the new G Loomis IMX Pro. I dig this rod. This is a sweet rod. This is the 904. It's got a really soft tip. I think it's going to be a perfect pair for the 6-inch glide bait. Corrado, okay, 200 on here. I have this is the 7.4. I like the higher speeds for the glide baits because it gives you, you can catch up to the bait faster and make it twitch and do all those sort of things a lot easier than a 6.0 or 6.2 to 1. But that's that. And then the last rod for you guys, this is a sweet setup. If you guys are just getting into swim bait fishing, this is an awesome setup. This is the Dobbins Fury 795. So it's a 7'9", 5 power. It's got a little softer tip than the Champion Series. Paired that up with a 300 size Shimano Cardiff. This whole setup I think is going to run you about 180 bucks, something like that. And you can do all sorts of big topwater fishing, swim bait fishing. It's probably a little light for an 8-inch Huddleston, but anything below that you could get away with. But those are the combos, guys. If you have those, any style of those 4 rods, head out to the lake and you guys will have a lot of fun dock fishing. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section. Matt is super busy right now. It's full swing for his guide season. I'm super busy with my day job. So please bear with us if we're not answering comments as fast as you guys would like. We are sorry. We do see them all and we'll get to them as soon as possible. We really do appreciate you guys. And thanks for the support. If you guys like this video, hit the like button, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and we will talk to you soon, guys. Have a good one.